Hi everybody, I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel where we'll be learning the tarot cards one card at a time. Today's card is number 21 in the Major Arcana, the World. I am using the Rider-Waite Tarot deck and you'll find the link below the video. I've also linked to the many books I've used for my research. In this video, we'll discuss what the World means when it appears in a reading, the symbolism of this card, the meaning of the World when it is upright and reversed, including some examples from my life, and at the end, I'll provide you with some questions to help you better connect with the World. So let's get started. So we've reached the end of the Major Arcana. The Fool has gone on quite a journey from the clothed figure standing on a cliff in card 0, which is the first card in the Major Arcana. In this card, we see a female with blonde hair. She is dancing and has batons in both hands. She is naked except for a large gray sash that is draped around her body. She is stepping through an oval-shaped green garland with red ribbons at the top and bottom. The sky surrounding her is clear and bright blue. In the four corners, we see the same figures as the Wheel of Fortune card. These are a person, eagle, bull, and lion. The figures in the corners are surrounded by clouds. The World card marks the end of the Fool's journey. This card represents completion, fulfillment, happiness, enlightenment, and success. The World is about overcoming obstacles and signifies that you have reached an important destination in your life. Now it's time to become the Fool again and start on a new journey towards new goals. So let's talk about the symbol in the World card. In this card, we see a female with blonde hair. Blonde hair is a symbol of being close to God. Her posture is really interesting. She is dancing, which symbolizes happiness. Her body faces directly toward us, but her head is facing left. You can see that her face looks calm and serene. This signifies that she is able to balance opposites. She is also floating in the middle of the garland, as if she is suspended between heaven and earth. She is pausing as if her journey is complete, or she is waiting for the next adventure to begin, or maybe both. She has batons in both hands. This is reminiscent of the Magician card, except that he only has one baton and the four elements, swords, cups, wands, and pentacles, were laid out on his table. Now we have batons with four ends, which signifies the four elements being brought together. She is naked except for a large, flowing purple sash that is draped around her body. The scarf represents that she is connected to the divine. She is stepping through an oval-shaped green garland. This wreath symbolizes success. The oval shape represents many things: the spiritual realm, the womb from which the world is reborn, or the shape of the number 0, which is the number of the Fool. The red ribbons at the top and bottom are shaped like the infinity symbol. They indicate completion and renewal. Basically that once we finish something, we begin the cycle all over again. We previously saw the infinity symbol as a lemniscate over the head of the magician and also strength. The sky surrounding her is clear and bright blue. Nothing is hidden. In the four corners, we see the same figures as the Wheel of Fortune card, only this time they look a lot more realistic and the angel looks human. These figures represent the four signs of the zodiac and the four seasons of the year. Together, they represent the cornerstones of a balanced life. The bull represents Taurus, spring, and physical power. The lion represents Leo, summer, bravery, and vigilance. The eagle represents Scorpio, fall, and vision and power. And the human and angel represent Aquarius, winter, guidance, and protection. Unlike the wheel where we saw the figures' full bodies, in the World we only see the heads emerging from the clouds. This indicates consciousness and becoming aware of things that were hidden. It is interesting that this human in the middle provides the fifth element, called the quintessence. If you watched the video on the Wheel of Fortune card, you'll know that I was unfamiliar with this word and had to look it up. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, quintessence is the fifth and highest element in ancient and medieval philosophy that permeates all nature and is the substance composing the celestial bodies. It can also mean the essence of a thing in its purest and most concentrated form. When the world appears upright in a reading, it means wholeness and freedom. It can mean that you have concluded a significant part of your life or completed a major life lesson. For instance, you've graduated from medical school, or you filed for a divorce because you realize that you can rely on yourself and don't need to stick it out with your cheating spouse. The World card can represent the end of your journey after completing what you set out to achieve. It can signify that it is time to celebrate your achievements. It is time to find a new path to your goals. It is time to pause, take a break, and rest. Or that life is a circle. You have completed a complete cycle. The World card can literally represent flying, travel, or moving. And it can represent a peaceful death for somebody who has lived a long and happy life. So here's an example of the world from my life. This makes me think of the Disney movie called The Lion King, which I watched hundreds of times with my kids and pretty much know by heart. And in a lot of ways, it parallels the fool's journey. The movie starts off with the lion cub, Simba. His dad, Mufasa, holds him up over the cliff and tells him that one day all this land will be his. Mufasa is killed and Simba goes on a long and difficult journey, only to return at the end as an adult and take back his homeland. And then, just like in the world, the cycle starts all over again with a sequel called Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. When the world appears reversed in a reading, it can mean that your journey is delayed. You're not there yet. Remember asking that as a kid, are we there yet? It can mean that you've failed to complete a cycle, so you've quit before something is complete. It might mean that you have unfinished lessons. It could represent that you've reached a plateau. That promotion you were seeking isn't happening and you feel like you are stagnating in your job. It might mean there are obstacles in your path. You set unrealistic goals. You need to figure out your next step. Or it could literally mean that there are problems with traveling. So here's an example from my life. I've had many friends with fertility issues who have undergone IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. It is really a tough process where the woman is given hormones to stimulate ovulation. Then the eggs are harvested and fertilized, and you wait. Then the fertilized eggs are implanted, and there is more waiting. Even with the best case, if you are under 35, the success rate for achieving a live birth after your first round of IVF is just over 40%. IVF demonstrates most of the issues in the world reversed. It's a journey with many cycles, lots of obstacles, and constant decisions about whether you should quit or try another cycle. This is not something I have experienced directly, but I have witnessed how difficult it has been for many of my friends. So let's talk about how to connect with the world. Here are some questions you might want to answer. Number 1, where in your life have you come full circle? I remember my elderly grandparents, and now my parents are in their late 80s. I remember when my grandmother fell and broke her hip, which was probably 30 years ago, and recently my dad fell and broke his hip. I can also remember when my parents retired, and now my husband and I are nearing retirement. Life is a circle for sure. Number 2, what can you do to expand your world? Number 3, what journeys would you like to complete? It might be a literal journey, such as you'd like to visit Europe. It could also refer to getting married, going back to school, or learning something new, such as how to read tarot cards. Number 4, are you on a path that you would like to quit? Is it worth trying to overcome the obstacles? Or do you just need to be patient and know that everything will get resolved in your favor? And number 5, do you take the time to celebrate your achievements? I have been self-employed for more than 30 years, and this is something that I have been terrible at. I've written a few books, and I never stopped to pat myself on the back and realize that was a major accomplishment. I just moved on to the next item of my very long to-do list. I'd love to have you post your answers in the comments below. And with that, we are finished the 22 cards in the Major Arcana.